Welcome to the Know, I'm Ashley Jenkins. Pokémon Go hits its peak and already the world's gone back into chaos. This week's already been marked by two particularly harrowing Pokémon Go incidents, including a shootout and a swatting. Makes me feel like I'm reporting the local news, except like the worst parts of it. Popular streamer Summit1G is the internet's latest victim of being swatted, all while he was broadcasting himself catching Magmars at the park. During the stream, one viewer took it upon himself or herself to call the police, saying that two men were in the park openly carrying AK-47s. The viewer then told the chat to watch the stream in 5 minutes. Police approached Summit shortly thereafter with rifles drawn, asking him to walk backwards to them with his hands raised before the stream cut out completely. Fortunately, nobody was hurt in the incident, and Summit later tweeted that the cops treated him well throughout the situation. Plus, he got that Magmar, so all's well that ends well. Unfortunately, things did not go so well for our other Pokemon Go related incident. In Las Vegas, the game resulted in an armed robbery and a shootout. A group of trainers were at Big League Dreams Park hunting Magikarp when an armed gunman pulled up in a car to rob them. Unbeknownst to him, one of the players had a concealed carry permit and drew his own firearm. A shootout ensued between the two, leaving the gunman and one of the players in the hospital, both, fortunately, I guess, with non-life-threatening injuries. Since everyone seems to be having a hard time with this, here's another weekly reminder. Stay safe out there, fellow trainers, please. If you thought the Xbox One showed Microsoft's got kind of a penchant for choosing bizarre names for their console, well, they almost picked a weirder one for the Xbox 360. According to a new IGN interview with former Xbox boss Robbie Bach, the Xbox 360 was very nearly called the Xbox 3. Cause that totally makes sense. Let's just call the second Xbox the Xbox 3, and then let's call the third Xbox the Xbox One. We can count. The reasoning behind that bizarre name is that Microsoft didn't want to look like it was playing catch up to Sony, who is going to be releasing the PlayStation 3. That's actually kind of a fan theory, I think, a long-running fan theory about why it wasn't called the Xbox 2, but now it's confirmed. Box said, "You've got to catch up. You don't want to be Xbox 2 compared to PlayStation 3. We actually talked about that." He went on to say, "You don't want to feel like you're a generation behind, so why not skip?" Then again, a quick glance at the Windows naming system shows that Microsoft has always had a little bit of trouble counting. They had, what was the 95, 98, NT, ME, XP, Vista, 7, 8, 10. I think, is that all of them? I think so. Anyway, they should really get someone to help them out with all of that. Good luck, Microsoft. Knock on wood and keep those fingers crossed, because No Man's Sky is just a few short weeks away from finally releasing. The August 9th release date so far seems to be holding firm, despite last week's reports that Hello Games may have used a patented Superformula belonging to a Dutch company to build the game's design. Since that story broke, Sean Murray from Hello Games has responded via Twitter, claiming that his game does not actually use the Superformula at all. He also said he will be meeting with the Superformula's creator, Johan Galis, once the game is out. That's not quite enough for Genicap, the company that owns the formula, however. CEO Jeroen Sparrow insists that multiple sources have confirmed to him that the Superformula was totally used in the game. All the same, he looks forward to sitting down with Murray once the game's out to get some clarification. See, No Man's Sky fans, everything's gonna be fine. Except maybe for the PC players out there. The game's actually been delayed just a couple of days on that platform and will release on August 12th now. But everyone else is fine, and 3 days is practically nothing. August isn't just the month for No Man's Sky and the Xbox One S. It's also when we'll get a chance to play Telltale's next choose-your-own-adventure game, Batman. Or, as I like to call it, not a Batman. Apparently that didn't really fit well on the packaging. Telltale showed up at this weekend's San Diego Comic-Con to talk up their Dark Knight story, and even revealed a surprise multiplayer component. According to Telltale, Batman will be their first game to use a brand new crowd play feature where players can crowdsource their decision-making to the masses. When crowd play is turned on, you're given a unique code to share with your friends or up to 2,000 followers. After that, the choices you face as Bruce Wayne or Batman are totally up to them. You don't even have to play the game. The feature comes in 2 sizes. In one, the crowd gets the final say, and in the other, the player can override the crowd if they're going to bananas. Which, as a crowd, they will probably do. So when my game goes totally pear-shaped, I'm gonna blame all of you guys instead of myself. Honestly though, it sounds like this feature was probably designed with streamers in mind, so we can be seeing Twitch plays Batman, or we can be seeing a lot of that crowd integration for big streamers. It'll be really cool, I think. For those of you who haven't quite gotten the joke behind the name of the new South Park game, creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker have a bit of an explanation for you. In a new behind-the-scenes video released by Ubisoft about the game's development and some of the new features you'll find when you play, the show's creators also talk about the game's unusual title. Believe it or not, the two arrived at the fractured butthole because the original name, the butthole of time, wasn't going to fly with retailers. As a result, they had to go back to the drawing board until they could figure out a different way to sneak the word butthole in, which leaves us with the wonderfully not so subtle fractured butthole. Somehow, it actually sounds classier when you say it like that, and somehow that managed to slip through all the ratings boards. Fortunately for all of us, we will be able to fillet all the fractured buttholes we want this December. Use a safe word. We've known for a while that we're getting a Han Solo prequel movie out of the Star Wars universe, but new reports indicate we may get an entire trilogy out of it. This speculation was prompted by a report from New York Daily News claiming Disney has signed Solo youngling Alden Ehrenreich to a 3-picture deal. This should come as no surprise to anybody familiar with movies at all because multi-picture deals are part of the business. However, this does kind of contradict statements made by Star Wars boss Kathleen Kennedy, who said they won't be using any of the anthology films to start new franchises. If we're not dealing with a Han Solo trilogy per se, we could be looking at Ehrenreich making appearances in other Star Wars anthology films. It's possible that Solo could surface in the rumored Boba Fett standalone pick, or they could be planning a trilogy because everyone gets a trilogy these days and it's like franchises within franchises, and then it's not a new franchise. If you franchise that. New technology could change the way you watch Star Wars, or any movie for that matter. At the theater, a new paper published out of MIT reports that a team of researchers from MIT's Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Lab have created a brand new 3D display that allows you to watch movies in 3D without the need for glasses. So basically a Nintendo 3DS, but for a whole movie theater. While tech does exist that allows a single person to view a screen in 3D, like the 3DS for example, or various specialty screens, none of the current solutions are really practical for multiple viewers unless they're wearing glasses. However, Cinema 3D, the new system from MIT, is a special display that uses a variety of lenses and mirrors that would allow for 3D visuals from any spot in a movie theater. Still in its early stages, Cinema 3D isn't entirely practical at the moment, but researchers hope that we can make more advances to turn this into a real way to watch movies, and after that, we're just one step away from smell-o-vision. It's gonna make the trash compactor scene in Star Wars a whole lot worse. That does it for today's roundup. Let us know what you think of all these stories down in the comments, and for future updates from every corner of the internet, like this video and subscribe to The Know. We did it!